Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you Uchiha Naruto The Sage Part 2. Get this one to 50 like as usual. I'm getting the next part as soon as possible. You guys has been talking about the ending of Uchiha Deku. What if Deku was reincarnation of Madara? Don't worry guys, I have a huge plot twist for you guys. So that is why I leave the ending like that. Trust me, the next episode will be awesome, mainly for your guys' entertainment. So, without further ado, let's get straight into part 2 of Uchiha Naruto The Sage. Start the intro. So the last time we left off, I told you guys about how Naruto grew up and the people of the village hated him. On Naruto's 7th birthday, when he was being chased by the mob, he was rescued by an old man in the alley. After the old man slushed Naruto away, Naruto realized that the mob was gone and he was in a total different era. After a bit of walking, and the old man introduced himself to Naruto as Madara Uchiha. Naruto wanted to tell the Hokage about who saved him. The old man glanced at Naruto and said, "Don't tell your Hokage about me," as he then vanished. Naruto brushed it off because he thought that this was the last time he will see the old man, but it wasn't. So we start this new episode at the Hokage's office. With the Hokage, he was happy. He had a smile on his face because he had good news for Naruto. He called Naruto to his office by sending an envoy to go and retrieve Naruto. A part of him knew that Naruto would be happy when he tell him the great news that he has. Naruto then walked into the office as Naruto said, "Hey old man, what's going on?" "Naruto, I have some great news for you." Naruto looked up with wide eyes as he was waiting for the great news. "I have registered you in the Ninja Academy so you can become a shinobi like you always wanted." Naruto has always told him that he wanted to become a shinobi. The Hokage's words played in Naruto's head few times before they could sunk in. Naruto's eyes then opened wide as he jumped around and jumped and gave the old man a big hug. As the old man looked down at Naruto's smiling face as he felt warm in his heart. He loved to see when Naruto is happy and not being hurt. Naruto let go of the old man as he gave the widest grin ever. "Thank you, old man. I am now going to become the greatest shinobi that ever lived in Konoha." "That is a promise," Naruto said with a big smile and his thumbs up. "Sit down, Naruto. I want to tell you something," the old man said as Naruto sit down and listen to what he had to say. "Now, Naruto, tell me, what is a shinobi?" Naruto replied without even thinking. "A shinobi is someone who can perform cool jutsus," he said as he still had a big smile on his face. The Hokage shook his head. "No, Naruto, a shinobi is someone who will fight to protect their village and the one precious to them. A shinobi will not fight for personal glory, but fight for the glory of protecting his or her village. A shinobi is one that determined that he will not give up and he will stay in the fight. A shinobi with pure heart. And you, Naruto, I believe you are that shinobi," he said as he smiled at Naruto. "Thanks, old man. You have done the greatest thing for me," said Naruto. "When I become the biggest shinobi in the world, I will remember you. And if anyone asks me what inspired me to become a shinobi, I will tell them of you," said Naruto as he gave the old man a big thumbs up. "Okay, Naruto," said the third Hokage, "if you sit here and stay for an hour, me and you can go get some ramen after I finish this paperwork." Naruto then smiled as he sit down. The old man then run through the paperwork and he finished in exactly an hour. Him and Naruto then went out to get some Ichiraku ramen. He looked at Naruto as Naruto sculpted down his food. He'd love to see Naruto like this because when he was like this, he forget about the hardship of the village. Ramen always got Naruto excited. Treating him to a bowl like every week will make Naruto stay on the safe side and the village will not break him because of these loving days. As Naruto continued to feast on his ramen. A week later, Naruto walked within the Ninja Academy grounds. He was wearing an orange jumpsuit that he got from the Hokage. He had goggles on his forehead and black shinobi sandals. As Naruto walked around, when the parents saw Naruto, their happy looks and smile melted down as their looks turned to pure hatred. They were not pleased with what their eyes were seeing. The muttering began. I cannot believe the Hokage allowed it to enter the academy. What was he thinking with this demon here? We have to do something about it before it go crazy and try to attack the kids. I think I will withdraw my son from the class this year. I do not want my son in the same class as a demon. Yeah, you're right. I do not want my daughter playing anywhere near that demon, the people in the crowd said as Naruto could hear all of the harsh comment as he does hang down his head. Naruto then gained a full chest of confidence after knowing that he is still going to become a shinobi. He didn't care about the hate comments. It wasn't like it was new. He was hearing hateful words all of his life. Naruto kept on walking inside of the academy. Inside of the academy was huge. There was a lot of students inside as they all were going to become shinobi. Naruto thought to himself, hey, is that kid? One of the students said, my mother told me to stay away from him. He's a demon. Yeah, but he doesn't look that evil to me. If anything, he looks stupid wearing that orange jumpsuit. Who cares if he's an evil demon or not? He's a new kid and we should teach him a few rules. Yeah, but not now. We will be late for our class. You know how Sensei is if we're late. Alright, we'll get him later, said the group as boys as they continued to walk to their class. Naruto then felt sad after hearing what the students were thinking of him as well. Even though he didn't do any of them anything, they were still willing to hate him for no reason at all. Sometimes he hated how his life turned out to be. The fourth Hokage was the one who cursed him and left him with this demon inside of him, as Naruto hated the fourth Hokage, not knowing who exactly he was. If the fourth Hokage never sealed the Kyuubi inside of him, he would have never been hated by the village or beaten up on his birthday, and maybe his parents would still be around, Naruto thought to himself as he had no idea who his parents was. He did not care if the fourth Hokage did what he did to protect the village. Konoha was not worth it, and he did not deserve to sacrifice himself to put this damn demon inside of me, Naruto thought to himself. Sometime, he wished he had the power of the nine-tailed demon inside of him, so he could trample all of Konoha. But he then brushed out those thoughts out of his mind, as he didn't want to think like that. He didn't want to become an evil person. Naruto then looked down at a sheet of paper, as he realized which room number his class was in. He walked towards the door. Naruto then knocked, as he was a few minutes late. He then heard enter. Naruto then opened the large two doors, as everyone was staring at him. Some of them were staring at him with blank expressions. Some of them were staring at him with hatred, and they were just kids. What did I ever do to them? Naruto thought in his head, as the stares were making him very nervous. Naruto walked over to the two senseis who was standing in front of the class. The sensei with a scar over his nose looked at Naruto with pure hatred in his eyes. The other one tried to hide his, but the one with the scar looked at Naruto like he hated him. Naruto handed the man his registration form. The man looked at the form. As he looked at the class, he then looked back at Naruto. He then turned back to the class. Class, we have a new student who going to join us. He then announced his name is not. He then stopped. As he then turned to Naruto and said, Naruto, you introduce yourself. Naruto simply nodded. My name is Uzumaki Naruto and I am going to be the greatest ninja alive, he yelled out. He heard a couple of snickers and snores, but he didn't say nothing. He just continued to smile. Everyone then started to laugh at Naruto as Naruto just stood there. That's enough, the sensei said. I said that's enough. Now, shut up, he shouted, the sensei with a scar on his face, as everyone then went silent. He then spoke again. My name is Immuno Iruka. Iruka introduced himself to Naruto. He then turned to his next sensei beside him and said, he will be my assistant, Mitsuki. Now, go take a seat somewhere else so I can continue, said Iruka. Naruto nodded as he walked to the seats. He looked at everyone in front of him, saw them giving him strange look. Naruto went up in a seat in the corner, beside the window. Now where was I, said Iruka. Oh yes, I was teaching you guys Konoha history. Naruto stopped listening as he looked outside. He wasn't really caring about Konoha history. The only thing he wanted to do was graduate from the academy and become the greatest ninja alive, and after that, people will respect him when they hear his name. As Naruto was lost outside, not focusing on anything inside the class, Naruto, said Iruka, as he noticed Naruto was not listening. Naruto, Iruka said once more. Naruto didn't turn as he was still focused on outside. Naruto! Iruka yelled out as Naruto snapped out of the trance. Can you just repeat what I just said? Iruka asked Naruto. Naruto didn't know anything that the man just said because he wasn't listening. I was not listening, Naruto replied, with a sheepish grin on his face. Iruka glared at Naruto as he said, get the hell out of my class. You will come back when you take my teaching seriously. Naruto said nothing. He just took his school bag and walked down the stairs as he exited the class as Iruka looked at him with pure hate in his eyes. Naruto turned and looked back at everyone before exiting the door. Iruka hated Naruto because the demon inside of Naruto was the one who killed Iruka's parents, and he had hatred towards Naruto because Naruto had the nine-tailed fox. Naruto then went to the playground after leaving the classroom. Naruto decided that he would go back to class after lunch. His sensei do not even see him, that he wants him in the class. It was better to go back to class after some time had passed, so his sensei won't hate him anymore. Naruto was under the tree, trying to get some sleep. He was bored. Some hours has passed and the other students came out for lunch and playtime, as Naruto went around asking them if he could play with them, but they told him that their mother said that he's a bad person and they should not play with him. So Naruto was all by himself. He just took it all and went to sit down by himself, as he secretly cursed all of them in his head. Hey, it's a new kid. Let's play with him. Naruto heard a voice speak just beside him. What is your name? Naruto then looked up as he saw two boys, 2 years over him. They were his seniors. They look alike, both have black eyes, short brown hair. The both of them wear dark green pants and a dark blue long sleeve. Naruto was quiet for a few moments, thinking of a way to handle the situation. He knew the look on their faces that this wasn't going to turn out good for him, but before he could speak or say anything, he was suddenly lifted up into the air. First Academy rule, answer the question as quickly as it was asked, the one said as he lifted Naruto up. As he then threw Naruto in the tree, as Naruto showed no reaction as he hit the tree by his back. He was used to the pain. He was no stranger to this pain because when the mob grew up, it was worse than this. So this was nothing to him, and it was going to go away little later, so it's not like he's gonna stay injured forever. The other boy then took Naruto's backpack as Naruto had his notebook and his lunch. The boy took Naruto's lunch. Naruto did not say anything. Begging back his lunch wouldn't help. Nothing helped in this kind of situation. It was better for them to just take what they want and get it over with. After they were finished, they would just leave him alone, Naruto thought. Suddenly, the other one kicked him in the stomach as Naruto grunted in a little bit of pain and then he stopped. But then sadness came into his eyes as another boy threw away his ramen out of the container. As Naruto didn't have any more money left, he had a little, but that was to keep him for the rest of the month, and he couldn't spend it all on ramen. Sarutobi would never give him more money before the month could end, so Naruto knew that he couldn't spend it all on ramen, and this boy was just throwing it all away. Next time, you little brat, have a better lunchbox, the boy said as the both of them then started to walk away. As Naruto just stood up as he leaned against a tree as he looked on the ground at his ramen. The next few years were surely going to be hard for him, but he would have to endure it if he wanted to be a good ninja. Back at Naruto's apartment, the first day at the academy have gone far worse than he anticipated. He thought that he would have to just deal with the hateful stares of the people, but he was also being bullied, and he knew that they are going to continue bullying him. Naruto just lied on his bed as he looked up in the ceiling. And another thing, he realized that the sensei with the cut over his nose hated him for some reason, and he realized that he was the one who should give him the passing grade. So, what if he uses hatred to fail me, Naruto thought. He had expected them to hate him, but he did not expect the way they act towards him. He had expected them to be smarter than the rest of the village and looked at him as a 7-year-old child than a demon. They were teachers for crying out sake, but they also had blind hatred in their eyes and only saw him as a demon. If he did not try and learn other things by himself, he will not learn anything from the academy. Sneaking into the library was his only option. He was unable to do it in the past year because he was guarded by the Jonins, but now there were less guard there and Naruto think that he could sneak in and learn few things. Naruto then walked into his kitchen. As he looked at the cupboard, he opened it and there was only uncooked ramen. He was low on food and he didn't have enough money to buy more. He sighed as he took down the ramen as he waited 3 minutes for the ramen to cook. A knock on his door interrupted him from taking off his jumpsuit. Who was it? Naruto thought. Was it? The only person who he wanted to see right now was the Hokage. If it was any one of those kids or the mob, I couldn't handle it right now, said Naruto. As he went over to the door, he then asked who was it. He heard nothing. He then slowly opened the door and saw the old man who saved him on his birthday. It was Madara. He just stood there as he stared at the old man. Madara was in black and he had 2 plastic bags in his hand. Are you going to let me in? Madara asked. Naruto shook his head as he said yes, come on in, as he let the old man in. Madara then walked in as he went to the kitchen and set the plastic bags on the table. Naruto looked at the plastic bag. One of them had a loaf of bread, apple, oranges, and the other had raw meat, steaks and everything. As Naruto looked at it, as his mouth dripped. Those foods looked very exotic. What can I help you with? Naruto asked softly, trying not to sound rude. I brought you food. I saw that you were running low on food, Madara said with a smile. Naruto looked at Madara curiously before asking, how did you know that I was running low on food? He had not told anyone that he was running low on food. He didn't even tell the Hokage. I came here while you were at the academy and I checked. Madara replied with a shrug of his shoulder. You broke into my apartment? Naruto said as he glared at the old man. What if I did? I did not come here to steal anything. I came here to help you, Madara said. Naruto then asked the first thing that came to his mind. Why would you help me? Do you mean to say why I would help you, knowing what is inside of you? He asked as he pointed at Naruto's gut. Naruto was not surprised that Madara knew that he had the Kyuubi inside of him, because almost every adult in this village knew. It was only his generation that did not know. I do not see you as others see you. You are just a child to me, Madara said sincerely. Naruto then nodded. He knew that a few smart people did not see him as the Kyuubi. Madara then changed the subject as he looked around. You need to eat some healthy food for your body to develop properly. Naruto nodded. The third Hokage had told him the same thing, but when this old man said it, he just heard it even more. Naruto then hung down his head as he couldn't enter most of the shops. Even if he did, they wouldn't allow him to buy, or they would overcharge the food and he couldn't afford it. If the third Hokage would have wanted to eat healthy food, he would have brought him healthy food, but he didn't do no such thing, knowing Naruto's problems. Naruto then thanked the old man again as he looked on the food that the old man brought him. I am just doing what I can do to help. He paused for a moment. How was your first day at the academy? He asked, to see if Naruto would lie about it. Naruto then frowned and said, I do not want to talk about it. Naruto then looked at the old man as he realized the old man was nice to him and helped him. So he told him, it was just like my birthday, but there wasn't no mob, but there was some bullies, and I didn't really end up in the hospital, but they beat me, said Naruto, as he looked at his body, but he was already healed up and felt no more pain. But I will survive, he replied, and I will become the greatest ninja that everyone has ever seen, he said. Madara nodded as he smiled and said, I know. That is why next week I will bring you some books so you can study. Really? Naruto asked. So he didn't have to sneak into the library. Madara nodded. Yes. I am getting old and I don't have much to do. Helping you will keep me active, said Madara. So Madara, you don't have any family like me? Naruto asked. To answer your question, no, I do not have any family. They are all dead, he said without showing any emotion in his voice. Naruto just nodded since he had no idea what to say. At least the old man knew where he's coming from because he didn't have any family. Madara then stood up. I better get going before it gets too dark to walk. Naruto nodded as he walked the old man out of his apartment. Madara then turned and smiled at Naruto, as Naruto then smiled back as he said later, as Naruto then closed his door. A few minutes later, in an unknown location, a figure with red eyes, 3 black tomos in each, as the sharingan, red, sparkled through the darkness. Madara was walking through the cave. Then, Black Zetsu came from the ground. How did it go? It went well, said Madara. Did you tell him who you really are? No, not yet. I am going to gain his trust before I reveal myself, said Madara with a smile. For now we wait, Zetsu, but we won't wait for too long, said Madara as he continued to walk. But guys, I'm going to end this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. But I'm off now, guys. Peace.